All right, so you looked up folding stocks in the state of California only to realize that it's not really a viable option because they're basically illegal on your AR-15 type rifles. Well, now you're pretty disappointed. Well, hold on. I got something exciting for you today that we're going to be talking about showing you. This is the Fold AR MOBETTA. What this is an upper receiver that folds and is completely functional in just a few seconds. I would say this is probably faster than just popping your upper and lower back together. They're all compact and together. You don't have to worry about storing them separately. This fits in a bag. This gets you a compact backpackable firearm in a way that is legal in the state of California, unlike pretty much all of the law folder type systems or the knockoff Sylvan Arms, which I would not recommend. But this, easy. Taking it apart and putting it back together is very simple and fast. It stores easy. This is something that is actually viable in the state of California. Let's show it to you and let's talk about why it's legal and why the folding stocks are not, and why you might want to check this out. Thank you. So just to show you how this kind of works, we're gonna zoom out just a little bit. Folded AR-15, it's pretty sweet. The upper itself actually folds, so it locks into place with this little nub right here on this little, what looks like a QD point on the upper. Those meet, clicks in place. It's not going anywhere. To engage this firearm, the way we do this is with the bolt either locked back to the rear. So we'll start with just bolt locked back to the rear. We fold it open or fold it closed. This little latch here latches on. Boom, that easy. To take it apart, same thing. Boom. This little latch hooks here, close it up. You can then put a magazine in and close it. If you want to open it up with the bolt closed, what you can do is you can just pop this here, unlatch it, pull the bolt back just slightly, so you can store it with the bolt closed like this. If the bolt is closed and we want to close it back up, we simply pull back with our thumb right here, close it up, and we're good to go. So you could actually even do this with an unloaded magazine. So, demonstration purpose, pull back, boom. So you could actually have a loaded magazine. So put a loaded magazine in here. Bolt is right there, still closed. We grab the upper, pull back just slightly, latch it around in the chamber. That easy. So why would you want something like this, the Fold AR MOBETTA? Well, because in the state of California, we can't have folding stocks, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. But this is a pretty interesting platform. When you go with something like a law folding stock, you don't actually save that much space because it pivots from here, pivots from the rear, and you really only save the distance of the stock. When you pivot at the front, like the Fold AR, this is a 16-inch gun that is literally half the size. Now, I could put a much more compact optic, and I think that would be ideal, but this is a fairly compact setup, easily fits in a backpack. If you live in an apartment or something like that, I think this would be particularly viable. I've had a lot of people in my Discord recently talking about how they live in an apartment, they're not sure if people know they have firearms, they don't want people to know that they have firearms, they don't want their landlords to know they have firearms, so they try to transport stuff in backpacks. Sometimes you might want to have your firearm more readily available, I guess, if you maybe want to store it in your truck, that kind of thing. Having the ability to make it more compact without having to have the two parts be separate. I mean, we saw how quick this goes together. Like, this is a pretty easy thing to work, right? We lock it back, fold it open, fiddling with it. You know, it's pretty simple to work with. Now, I don't have a whole lot of time with this, but really why this is interesting, because in the state of California, Penal Code 30515, the assault weapon ban, well, that is a pretty tough thing to work around, right? We have our feature-based ban, which is why this gun doesn't have a flash hider, no vertical foregrip or forward pistol grip. It has a fin grip, and this stock does not move. So this gun is legal. I can use my standard capacity magazines in this gun totally legally, but if I wanted to put a folding stock on it, that would be illegal. Now, if I went with something like a fixed magazine gun, which allows me to have a pistol grip, adjustable stock, flash hider, forward pistol grip, all that jazz, I still have to worry about Penal Code 30515, because what that law says is if the gun is semi-auto, center fire, and it has an overall length of less than 30 inches, that gun would be considered an assault weapon. So why does that matter? 30 inches, this gun is easily over 30 inches, right? Well, California says that the shortest fireable configuration is how they measure overall length. With a law folding stock, you can fire that gun once with the stock folded. So, if you wanted to have a folding stock, a folding gun in the state of California with a law tactical, you would be severely limited, because you would then have to, with it folded, still be over 30 inches, which would mean you would have to pin and weld a muzzle device that is so long, so ridiculously long, that the gun is no longer any more compact, and having the folding stock is now purely a detriment in the state of California. Whereas this is a compact, packable, storable, backpackable AR-15 in the state of California, which I think it makes this particularly interesting. Now, this system is pretty robust. I have not noticed any zero shift. Your mileage may vary, but from what I've seen, testing this gun, getting it zeroed, folding it, unfolding it, I haven't seen any crazy amount of zero shift that I can perceive. Now, I'm getting this gun very hot, very hot. I like to shoot very hot, very fast, so my groups are never going to be as good when I'm out on the range like this. So your mileage may vary. I would love to hear what you guys have to think about this. Fold AR did send me out this upper. They wanted me to do a product demonstration, but I thought it would be a lot more interesting to talk about why this is particularly more interesting in the state of California because of our laws. So it's always interesting when we can look at a product that initially seems kind of gimmicky and kind of think about it more about why it might actually be particularly useful, because this upper is pretty sweet. I think that it would actually be even cooler on an AR pistol because, again, folding braces and folding law tacticals on a pistol, you can only fire the gun once. And it's not really that small. With like a 10.5-inch fold AR upper, you could actually get this thing so dang small that it would actually be smaller than pretty much any other AR setup on the market. You could pack that in a little tiny backpack, no problem. But if you want a full-size rifle that is actually backpackable, I think that this is a very viable option for you. Would I purchase this? I don't know. You know, I don't get to keep this upper. This is kind of just a test and demo thing. But I think it is particularly interesting, and I know that people all the time online are talking about folding stocks, and once they realize that the law folder in California is not really a viable option for them, they get disappointed. So I think that this would be a cool thing to look at for them if they wanted to do a ground-up build. Take a look at this. It's worth checking out. I think that this is interesting. It's cool. It's something different. A lot of AR-15 manufacturers, there's not a whole lot exciting. It's basically just like, is the gun good? Or is it cheap? Or is it cheap and decent? Those are kind of in the state of California what we're looking at, or just in the industry as a whole. It's AR reviews are kind of boring. Like, chances are, let me know if you've watched an AR review recently. Have you been blown away? Has it been particularly, oh my God, groundbreaking, interesting? Or has it just been another AR-15 that kind of does the job well? Maybe it does it as good, maybe it does it a little bit better than the average, but they're not really all that exciting or interesting. Well, if you found that at all interesting, you guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Would you pick this up? Are you interested in this? Do you think it's a gimmick? What do you think? I don't get to keep it. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just like to have fun, go out to the range, shoot some cool stuff. That's what I got to do today. Thank you to Fold AR for sending this out to me. If you guys enjoyed this, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Share it with your mom. If you disliked it, send it to your dad. I don't know. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. I don't know. Fold AR seems pretty interesting to me.